All right, guys, I don't know if this is a brand new listing on Amazon or what, but I get a lot of requests to take a look at this, and a lot of people have bought this and reviewed it. I'll overlay the Amazon listing so you can see it's only $16.99, but the surprising part is a very high number of people who give this a really positive rating. So I kind of had high hopes. So grabbed one, decided to take a look at it today. Just came in the mail yesterday. Two things when you buy a bike lock. The two things really count. One is the chain, and the other, of course, is the lock. And, of course, the lock is what we hear about, but let's take a look at this chain. It has a protective covering nylon, and this is usually to keep it from scarring your bike, but I think this BV bike lock company is using it to disguise the quality of their chain. It's kind of camouflage. So I did cut it away just to grab a quick look, and you can see it's probably about the thinnest chain that we've seen in a while. It's a 1/4 inch. It does look like it's hardened. It's the right color and everything, but decided to look a little deeper. The way you guys check for hardness is you take a file, just basically give it a couple of licks, and if it does that, chances are it's not hardened steel. The other thing you can do, you can take a knife, and let's go over here on this side, and just give it a couple of little scrapes. And if you're taking little shavings off of the chain, probably not hardened. The last thing you can do, and I don't want to ruin these because these are brand new, but these are just a pair of handheld wire cutters. If you take them on there and just give it a gentle squeeze, if it leaves a line or a little dent like that, definitely not hardened. So $16.99, I'm starting to see that you're getting exactly what you paid for, which is a lot of nothing. But let's take a look at the lock because it could be promising. BV, hard plastic shell on here, shackle slides in. I do have a key somewhere wrapped up in here. We'll look at it in a little while. Hopefully we don't need that stinking key. Got a weather protective cap. We slide that out of the way, and right away, you look down the side of there, you can see that it is not a disc detainer. This is a slider lock, and we're seeing these more and more, but I think it's, as we start to understand how they work and figure out different ways to pick them, they're starting to be security through obscurity. But now that we know how they work, I got a quick way to get into this guy. Looking down the side of there, I think you can see sliders on the left and the right. There's 5 on the left, and looks like also 5 on the right, for a total of 10 sliders. All right, how do we pick him? Well, normally we take a tensioner, slide him in there. Oh, he's not quite right. Let me grab something that fits a little better, hopefully. That ought to work. It is a spring-loaded core. Normally what we do is we take our tensioner, and the reason I grab this thick bar is because you really press with a lot of tension on the lock. And that's the only way you can get those sliders to bind up. And then you grab a pick like this guy, and you use the tip of that pick to go in there and feel which slider is binding and then force him into position. So it's kind of a messy, kind of a long business. I found a new way to get into these, and it's fairly easy and fairly quick. Doesn't require nearly as much skill as a single pin picking. Instead of using the tip of that pick, we're going to use the rounded edge of the pick. And instead of using very heavy tension, which is really against my nature, I'm going to use something more in line with my common practice, which is light tension. So you'll see me apply a little tension and overcome that spring on the core. And at that point, I just barely apply a little bit more, and that's it. The idea is you really want those sliders to be moving. So when I take the rounded edge of that pick and I shove them over, if they're not ready to be picked, in other words, I'm picking them out of sequence, I want them to slide back. So as I move up and down the line and keep trying, I'm basically going to slide them into position in the right sequence by randomly, basically. So a lot of luck is involved in this, but no skill. So let's try it. I'm going to take the rounded edge and then try to roll the bottom sliders first. So apply a little tension. Slide it in there, and I'm going to hold a pick like this to prove to you it doesn't take very much skill at all. Just kind of move it in and out and roll those sliders over. And when you get them, you'll feel a little bit of turn on the core, and you hear a little click. And I felt the turn. So now we have a fault set. That's always a good thing. Tells us we're on the right path. Now I'm going to take my pick and roll them over so the round edge is on the top. And I'm going to try to roll the sliders on the top. Same game, in and out, totally random, no skill. All right, I felt a little click there. I'm going to roll them over and try the bottom again. All right, back to the top. And there we go. Totally random, light tension, a new way to open up these nasty sliders. All right, let's cut this open, I guess, and find the key. There we go. I get to use my wire cutters after all. All right, there's what the slider key looks like. And let's put this back. Make sure the key does work. Doesn't really matter if it does or not. They're so easy to open without that key. Pretty cool. All right, here's how the thing works. Shackle with a little cutout. And if you look in the bottom of there, you don't see anything that... Let me grab a screwdriver or a probe. There's nothing down inside of there that pops out. No slot. And the way it works is you take the shackle, and when you push down on that plastic housing, you'll notice it descends to the bottom. And when it does, 2 hardened steel locking bars pop out and fit into that groove right there. So pretty cool, automatic locking, but $16.99, crappy chain, crappy lock. Keep your money, guys. Get yourself something a little bit better than a BV bicycle chain lock. Appreciate your time. Stay safe, stay legal, and let's have a giveaway. I will give away this lock. I definitely want it out of the lab, but if this was the only giveaway, guys, I'd never get rid of it. So let's sweeten the deal a little bit. In addition to the lock, I've had some donations from LearnLockPicking.com. In fact, they sent a very nice little note. More giveaways for the tribe for the new year from LearnLockPicking.com. Enjoy. And the owners of Learn Lockpicking, they donated a lab pinning tray. Kind of sweet. Wood. You will be getting one of these guys. In fact, they gave me a few of these Ultimate Challenge locks. For those of you who've never seen them, and the least I can do is show it off since they donated it. You get a 6-pin core. It's a little bit paracentric, not much, really for beginners. And you get an entire an entire bag of replacement pins to include security pins and T-pins in the newest models. And of course, you get a key if you want to pin it up. And the bidding on this one is awesome. Whoever gets this is going to have a heck of a time. Anyway, you get that. They donated one of these guys. It is the Lab Mini Pick Set. And some shims to go along with it. And it just keeps coming, guys. A spinner. Also, this is a right-hand spinner donated by LearnLockPicking.com. So, while you might not want this junky lock, the giveaway is quite sweet this week. There's a website. Hit it and register. There's a big purple bar right in the middle of the page. It says Weekend Giveaway. Click it. A little bit of luck, my webmaster will randomly pick your name next Saturday. Appreciate your time, guys. Stay safe. Stay legal. If you like the idea of growing the lock sport community, please consider supporting the LockLab by either becoming a Patreon or clicking the join button below.